next one I want to bring in is been a good friend of mine for many years, and he is so incredibly experienced, talented, just like Charles James and most of you here. And I want to bring in attorney Michael Paulin. And he's going to talk about some of the things that he envisioned for the international wealth builders because he does have a lot of ideas. So let's welcome attorney Michael Paulin.
Thank you, Marie. It's interesting how people, they look at things very differently. But as we traveled around the world, we just decided, let's start looking at real estate. Let's do it. And so the way I am is I'm either going to be an expert at something or I'm not going to do it. It's just my personality. It's like, and no one has to be like that, but that's how I am. And I actually, on my website, I have a site called Experts Training Experts. And I'm interviewing people that are experts in what they do, and I'm an expert at what I do. So the audience gets the full expert hit on whatever that is, those things are that we're doing. So I just felt that I had to focus like that if we're going to be successful. And now, in 2 weeks, we're launching a new company. It's all about training you and teaching you how to buy international real estate. And I spent a lot of time on this, but it's worth it. I want to be the guy. I want to be the one expert on it. And if you look on the internet, there's not one person, zero, that does what I do. I mean, there's people talking about visas and immigration and stuff like that. I can do it, but I don't talk about any of that anymore. I'm talking strictly about buying the property. What do you got to do that? And it's a long list.
And I know that this is a special secret sauce that you probably want, I don't want to delve too deep into, but
okay.
But how do you determine, like in each country, what the rules and regulations are to purchase a property for, let's say, an American person? So they're going in to buy these properties, they want to own them and make sure that they have proper title and things of that nature.
Yeah, but that's the nitty gritty stuff, and that's where the details really matter. Okay, and how do you learn that? You just learn it. Okay, so for example, if you said to me tonight, like I could tell you about Panama and Belize and Germany and Paris. I can tell you 10 countries off the top of my head. But if you said to me, I want to know about buying a property in Cuba. Okay, well, I know a guy in Cuba that's a real estate agent. I know a guy that's a broker there. I couldn't answer your question tonight, but I would answer it the same way I told that guy from that company in France when he called me. He said, well, you think you could help us? Absolutely, I can help you. Because I knew me. I knew I would go out there, I'll go learn it, I'll read it, I'll figure it out, I'll analyze it, I'll talk to the right people, I'll take risks. And you have to have faith in yourself, big time. You start taking risk with your money, other people's money. You got to be very confident you can deliver on what you're saying. So basically, I'll do the due diligence, and you're paying me to do that, right? But I'll do it, and I'll deliver a due diligence package to you. And then you can analyze it. You say, okay, well, the regulations are this and that, and there's times that you don't know everything. I mean, until you get in it. Like the first time I was in Belize, I didn't realize they don't give you your grant deed, your title, when you close escrow. You know why? There ain't no escrow. That's why. So you think about how we do business here. You got your escrow, put the money in, get the property, here's the deed, wire the money, we're good to go. Doesn't work like that there. So I had to have a lawyer there that I knew, I trusted, tell me, Mike, don't worry about it. Stop thinking like an American. It's a grant deed time. It'll be in 6 to 9 months you'll have it. In the meantime, here's a land title for you. And that's good enough. I went down, I talked to the guys in the city there. They said, yeah, that's how we do it here. And then I did research on it. He was right. But to tell my client that, like I'm telling you right now, if I said that to you, yeah, put the $500,000 down, right? Let's give it to these guys in the non-escrow escrow, and you'll get the grant deed in maybe 6 to 9 months. You move in tomorrow, no problem. But you don't have the grant deed. You have what's called a land title. You got to do it. Like right now, I'm very confident. I do anything in Belize or Panama or Ecuador, I know what I'm doing. Okay, so I can tell you, don't worry about it. Relax. This is what's going to happen. Then I'll take you there, and I'll sit you down with the people and say, here, talk to them. Ask them anything you want. Agents, managers, lawyers, whatever it is. So you got to do it. It's the only way.
Thank you so much.
I've always been afraid to deal with international because of that. And I think it's good to hear that from you, Michael, that you are able to take these people to expand their opportunities, because I've always limited myself just United States because of the fear and not knowing what to do. But now hearing from you, I think that's awesome to know. Any questions for, go ahead.
Fear, false evidence appearing real. How do you handle language barriers internationally?
That's a great question. Great question. I can tell you in China, it was very difficult. I was there for 30 plus years. When you take one of my courses that's an international-based business course, I always kind of open it and close it with the same thing. Do not skimp out on the best translators money can buy. Do not skimp out on the due diligence of finding the best translators, because they come in many varieties. So in China, for example, the biggest problem in Asia, and China in particular, is that they have some really good conversation translators. Okay, you need that. They have some really good business translators. Okay, you need that, but I don't know the conversation the business people are communicating that well. They have some really good legal translators. They may have no idea what the conversation is about, because that's not what they do. So to be honest with you, the secret I had in China all the years, did all these deals, was this one thing. I had my own people, first of all, in China, obviously. I was there a long time. But I always had one or two translators that were with me the whole time that were not involved in any of the deals. I hired translators that were in the deal, business, commercial, legal. We paid those people. And then that night, during the negotiations, these two were taking notes the entire time. So when I got back to my hotel and we're sitting down, they're telling me all the things those translators did wrong, all the things I didn't say that they said I said. So the next day I came in fresh to the next meeting. Okay, let's make sure you understood me what I said last night. I didn't mean this. And I'd let one of them step up and explain it. Okay, so you need to have translators. There's no shortcut if it's not an English-speaking country. Where that really impacts you, though, Angela, is in the contracts. Because most countries, when you buy real estate, actually it's not just real estate, I've done a zillion joint venture deals, they make you put it in their language, right? I always insist upon English also, and then I have a third contract person I'm paying to make sure those two mesh. It's never going to be word for word, and in China, they don't even have a word translation. It's character. So you're never going to be able to read it completely, okay? But I need to know the basics of that are there. So you pay for it. There's no shortcut to it. Yeah.
So you said you don't skip out on buying the best translators money can buy. How do you know how to find those people?
Well,
if you can't
yeah, that's even a better question. I've been doing it so long that it's not an issue for me. When I started, I made plenty of mistakes. I mean, it's because I didn't know. So what I did then, tell you candidly what I did. I went to the State Department in each country. And in each country, you can find out the State Department, you can see, and also the chambers of commerce in each country list all the American companies doing business in that country and that cities. And in China's 700 cities, okay? I'd call them. What translator did you guys use? How'd you use them? I just get on the phone and say, or I'm in China. Hey, guys, I'm down the street here in Beijing. Can you guys have lunch with me? I know you don't know me, but you're in the chamber, or I'm in the chamber. It's like, I need some advice. Over the years and years, I developed all these relationships. Then I represented the U.S. government on trade missions. So I'd meet all these people that I didn't know before, but they're in the State Department, so you get to know them. And don't be shy. You've got to ask. Because as a lawyer, we got to know. I can't tell you I hope. It's got to be this is the way it is. Yeah.
Can I say something to what he said? One of the things that I like that you've been saying tonight, and I want to say this for all the people that are in business to think about. The way that I met my mentor that owned the $300 million construction company is I saw him on the internet, and I just picked up the phone, and I called and I said, "Can I meet you?" And it took me a couple of times to get through, and once I finally got through, he flew me to Vegas to meet him.
Wow.
Okay,
Great.
So the thing that you keep saying, just pick up the phone or do this or just talk to someone or just, go do it. I think that's a key thing for entrepreneurs in the real estate business is you got to pick up the phone. You got to pick up the phone like what you're saying. So I like that.
Yeah, isn't that how I got you?
Yeah.
Because
That is how
She bugs us all, right? You got to come. You got to come. It's like, anyway, is that we good? Oh, Cara?
Hi, Michael. I have two questions. One is, I know you were talking about translators and contracts being in Chinese and then getting a copy in English. Do you foresee that in the future, with technology and everything improving with translations, that will get a lot easier and it might be less reliant on a human doing at least the paper translations?
Here's the bottom line answer to that question. Yeah, because of AI. Here's the bottom line answer to that question. You, as in our case, lawyers, or the person representing the partnership, we have to be 100% clear that what we're saying orally is there in writing. Are things going to get easier or harder in that regard? I don't think those are going to get easier because I can tell you I've ripped up 100% of the translations almost immediately. See, I didn't say that. We're not agreeing to that. You got to start over. Because I'm not going to accept, my clients won't accept that, I won't accept it. I don't think it's getting easier or harder. I think it's diligent. You want intellectual Ray? Translators. Because you got to work with those people. I usually, by the way, before I would take a trip, I spent about 3 weeks with a translator on the phone. There was no Zoom. It was just phone. And just say, this is what I'm trying to get out of this. Write me back a letter in English so I know you get it. Because you're going to be sitting there with me. I got to make sure they're hearing what I'm saying. You're in my head. It took 3-4 weeks. I did it every trip. I charged the client for it. It was a lot of my time, but we had successful meetings because the Chinese, they're a group of people that if they think you're lying to them, forget it. Just leave because it's over. They won't tell you that until later, but I can see in their eyes.
One more question. So if you were going to work with a client who was interested in, purchasing a house internationally and not in an existing country that you're familiar with, to rein in expectations, what's the timeline that you would give them for you to do your due diligence, learn what's going on with that country?
Okay, on my new site, in the funnel, which is the call to actions that leads you to contact my team, right in there, I have 15 or 16 questions. You have to answer them. Yes or no? One of those questions is, have you thought about any particular country that might interest you? Maybe they say yes, maybe they say no. If they say yes and they write it down, now I have a direction. So my team has a direction. So when they get on the phone with that person, they're talking about Peru, they're talking about Portugal, whatever. And maybe I haven't set up a company there, haven't sold any property there, etc. I know before you get to me that that's your focus of interest. I'll say to you, I need 60 days here to do a proper due diligence for you. And I will. I have the resources. I will do it. And then I give it to you. It says, this interest you? Or you pay me to do it. Okay? And does this interest you? If it does, what's your time frame and when you want to go? I need to know that. And also on one of those questions, it's what's your budget? 50, I think that 250 is the lowest 150 is the lowest we'd even talk about. But up to 150 to millions of dollars. And everybody has a different budget. Everybody has different ideas. You're going to live there. You're going to rent it out half the year. You need the income. Cash flow matters. Doesn't matter. I mean, these all the questions I ask you. So by the time you get to me, I kind of got your portfolio. So I can have a conversation pretty easily with you. And if I haven't done the country, I'll say to you, you know what? I haven't done that, but I know enough people. I'll get it done for you. Just give me 60 days. And there's people happy. They're like, okay, they can't do it. You need to be able to go and do things, So, and I have to trust people too.